Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm not.
All right, it's time for a Critical Crazy Conference.
Woo!
We usually don't do these, or we usually call them bonus pods.
Yes.
But this is very important because something cataclysmic has happened.
Cataclysmic. Staying with
Listen all the C's
Yeah,
today.
I like it.
No, seriously, we're in Los Angeles and it's active out here. Active.
Yeah, Lakers' last game of the season last night played Portland Trail Blazers.
Actually, a very good game.
Yes.
Showed a lot of heart.
Yeah.
A lot of fight. But we are not here to give you a
No.
Lakers on the court update.
No.
Before that game,
Yes.
the legendary Magic Johnson decided to quit his job. He didn't let his boss know. He would like the reporters to let Jeanie Buss know that he was quitting. Also didn't let any of the players know or anyone else in the front office.
Somebody add her on Twitter.
So we are all in this together. We're all finding out at the same time what's happening with Magic Johnson, and we're all just trying to get our way through the maze, all as one. Nobody really has any answers. Nobody really has any actual information. It's all speculation at this point. But we'll do an exercise where you were when you found out what Magic Johnson had quit, where I was, and then your initial response. So we have obviously heard all of the ramblings in that press conference, if you want to call it that.
Heartfelt.
Yes, generally off the cuff.
Yes.
Of what Magic felt he was doing. He mentioned Pelinka. He mentioned Jeanie.
Ugh.
He mentioned not being happy. And basically, my favorite line, obviously, I'm not going to be here next year, which will be memed and gifed or gift for the rest of time, obviously. So, initial report was Magic Johnson has stepped down as president of the Lakers.
Right.
And I was driving to Taco Tuesday with Earl, and he is on the phone on the Twitter machine, and he says it out loud, to which we both say, "What?" And then, as always, I ask who has tweeted this because I need to know that it's solid information.
Right.
He responded with everyone, and my response was, that ain't right. My initial thought was, okay, there's got to be something else to the story other than Magic's just had enough.
Right.
And after hearing everything that I've heard today, that's still how I feel. I am a natural cynic or a realist, whatever you prefer.
Right.
And being a realist has to come with some level of cynicism because the world's a rough place and people are not upfront, especially in corporate high-level situations.
A lot of backstabbing.
There's a lot of backstabbing, as Magic said. So I did not think that this was on the up and up. It's too drastic. Right. Magic is a businessman. He knows the consequences of being reactionary.
Smart.
He's very, very smart, and I'm not being sarcastic. He is all of those things.
Yeah.
So hearing that, and then obviously seeing this press conference, I feel like there's something that happened here that made Magic feel like I cannot waste one single second. I have to quit this instantaneous moment. Now, you can feel what you want about that, but I feel like, okay, there's a whole lot more to the story than this. Now, there was a report that ESPN was doing a story about how Magic and Pelinka were treating employees. Now, obviously, the man's nickname is Magic. I mean, if you've ever met Magic Johnson, which I have had the privilege of meeting Magic Johnson, he makes you feel like the world is just butterflies and cotton candy. Right. He's a wonderful person to be around. He has great energy, and everyone says the same thing about Magic. That's the reason why I call him Magic. And so it's very difficult for anyone to believe that he's mistreating employees. Right. But it wasn't just about Magic. It was also about Pelinka. Yeah. Now, all that being said, we've been duped by people before. This is not incriminating on Magic. However, I did feel like, why so soon? So my other thought was, if it's not something malicious, I feel, now the report is that Jeanie gave him the ability to fire Luke Walton. Now, we've all assumed that Luke Walton's going to be fired. He hasn't been fired as of this moment. No. However, I don't think Luke Walton's going to be fired now.
What?
I don't. Why? I'll get to that. I want to hear your reaction first, and then we can get to that. So we'll write this down. Luke. Yes. We'll get back to it. I think there's a possibility Jeanie was going to fire Magic and told him, tomorrow, we're going to move on. We will do it gracefully. We will put this spin on it. We will go our separate ways. But essentially, you're being let go.
Yeah, this does reek of private conversation between two people, very high up people, and then one of those people were like, nah, let me create the narrative.
Correct.
Yes.
So that's my theory.
Okay.
That conversation was
That
had.
would make
There was
sense.
an understanding.
Mhm.
As soon as Magic left the room, he was like, no, I'm about to be fired.
Right.
I'm going to quit.
Yes.
And we have
45 minutes
evidence
before the
of
game.
Magic quitting abruptly
Yeah.
before. He quit coaching after 16 games.
Yeah.
He quit his talk show after 2 months. And now he's quit as the president of the Lakers.
Mhm.
So my thought is, because why not tell Jeanie? I mean, at the very least, you tell Jeanie. Why do you have to talk to the press right now? You have exit interviews tomorrow. If you were going to quit, why couldn't you just wait one more day?
Yeah.
Let the season finish out. Let Wade and Dirk have their nights.
That's what I'm most pissed about. Lakers always still in the headlines.
And just ride off into the sunset with a consensus on what the narrative is. So what was so pressing that you had to, at this moment, before the game even started, without telling anyone, not telling LeBron, not telling Jeanie, not telling Pelinka, no one knows what's going on, you have to say you're quitting at this moment. Magic is not a reactionary person. People who are that good at business don't just do things like that because there's major consequences to it, which is why we're doing a critical crazy conference at this moment. So that is my theory.
I would say, as a businessman that he's been in the past for the other businesses, he's allowed to step away from the thing and it still run. Clearly, being the president of the Lakers, he could not do that, and it was clear that he just wasn't around.
Yeah,
if he's not around and he's not into it, when I heard, I was...
Okay, so where were you? What was your reaction?
I was looking for the Dwayne Wade game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have NBA TV. I couldn't get it, so I settled for...
It's a tax write-off. You should just do it.
Oh, yeah, right? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do that.
I'm going to put you on game.
TNT, it was Celtics... Wizards, which I cared nothing about, but the
good job on that.
Yes, but the Rockets,
no Dirk on his last game and no Wade on his last game.
Yeah,
we really want to see Wizards Celtics.
Players only. It wasn't players only. But anyways, and then I was waiting for the Thunder Rockets game, which I knew was going to be good. And then on in the background, there's Magic popped up, and I have it on low, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? Magic is stepping in, and he got immediate reactions from Shaq, and Shaq says, This isn't like Magic, he just doesn't quit things. It's like, all right, let's slow down.
He does quit things.
Let's slow down, Shaq. But anyways, I was just glued on the screen watching the interview over and over and over again as it got updated to a new audience on TNT, and just continuous hear Vince Carter's, Candace Parker's, and Shaq's opinion on the thing, and I couldn't wait for today to see how the real sports world, and obviously on Twitter, everyone's going nuts. Like, wait a minute, what?
NBA Twitter it's the best night NBA Twitter's ever had. For
Lakers
sure.
been much. Listen, this is
between Wade, Dirk, Jamal Crawford going for 50, Lakers, Magic, LeBron reaction, the Lakers game actually being good. It was just absolute chaos last night. Okay, so
buzzer beater.
But what was your reaction though? Like, what did you think happened?
I was happy, honestly, because as chaotic as it's been, the end of the season right now was like 37-52. It was like the best record for the Lakers since 2013, and then it was an absolute disaster and mess. Basically, we needed a rebuild, and that's why I was considering trading LeBron as just a Lakers fan. Like, do I really want that? We need something drastic. We need a real rebuild from the top down. It felt like LeBron was that top down. Magic is the piece because NBA players know, based on looking at what Magic did as a president for the Lakers, that he's not the guy who's going to win a national championship. I always say national championship. He's not the guy who's going to win a title. He's not a guy who's going to win a title leading the Lakers, and they need an actual basketball mind in there, not just the face of the franchise.
I agree. I think that he talked about that in his impromptu press conference, rambling, whatever you want to call it. That he was happier as the face of the team, which of course makes sense.
Of course.
Here's the thing, and I just talked about this with the ladies in the wardrobe department because they asked me what I think about Magic, which is exactly what I just told you. And they also said, well, Magic's very rich, and I said that is true. He's very, very rich.
Wealthy.
He's a very wealthy person.
Yes.
Yeah, rich is not enough. He's wealthy.
Yeah, he's wealthy.
He has generational wealth.
Yes.
As we like to refer to it in the culture. Yeah.
Right.
His kids. Yes. Or as Earl said last night, he good.
He good.
So when you step away from a grind like the NBA, if you don't immediately and I do mean immediately, step into another grind, once you get away from the grind and you are comfortable, it's almost impossible to get back into the grind. Even if you're bored, even if you're like, I want to try something new, or I feel like I can accomplish this. The grind of it, in order to be successful, is very, very hard to do. Now, everyone was saying Magic hasn't been around. That makes sense. Magic does what? Magic has so much going on. It's the same thing we were critical of with LeBron this year.
Right,
like LeBron, what happened to your grind? You have too many other things going on. You're not focusing on what you need to do. Yeah. Like Magic reportedly not being at the Final Four. You need to be at the Final Four. Isn't your alma mater in the Final Four? No. You need to be at the Final Four, if nothing else, for that. Like, you have to be there.
He was at the Michigan game before, which is when they got bounced out, so they weren't in the Final Four. But he was at the Michigan State game. He was at the Michigan State game, but he was not at the Final Four. I was mad he was at the Michigan State game because during that game, if I'm not mistaken, the Lakers were playing the Pelicans in New Orleans, and I was like, wait a minute.
No. The Lakers are out of it, so I don't care. You need to be. You have going to be in the lottery. You need to go and watch these players. Okay. Like somebody can handle the Lakers. All right, they're running on their own. All right, literally.
But to your point, he was celebrating his alma mater, and then as soon as they got knocked out, he was gone from the team.
Right. No, you need to be there. Like you have to be watching these players. This is part of your job, and that's just what it is. It's a job, and Magic ain't got no job. He ain't trying to be in no office. It's Magic Johnson. He comes and goes as he pleases. He hops on jets to Tahiti when he feels like it. He takes a month-long trip to Italy with his family every year. He can't do that as running an NBA franchise, not a successful one. So to me, there's a lot of things that line up. But now, what do the Lakers do? Is like where we are now, right? Yeah. Like Magic is gone. Nobody from the Lakers has talked. No. To me, this is Jeanie Buss's moment. Okay, now I'm a Jeanie Buss fan all the day, huge Jeanie Buss supporter. I think that anyone speaks ill of Jeanie Buss is a clown, and I mean that literally. Like you better recognize the basketball lineage that Jeanie Buss is, and Jeanie Buss to this point has handled all of this well. She allowed her brother to do his thing and destroy the situation, and they came to an agreement. Like, okay, you've had your fun. Yeah. All right. We let the man go in and mess everything up. Yeah. All right, now it's time to take over. Yeah. She brought in Magic Johnson, which, wow, in this situation doesn't look like the brightest idea. At the time, nobody had problems with that. I don't remember people saying Magic is going to be a disaster.
Listen, I'm ready to back Jeanie, but now Rob Pelinka's putting the question.
Okay, so Pelinka is the question here, right? Because Magic said, he was asked directly, what does he think of Pelinka? And Magic said, you're going to have to ask Jeanie about that, which is another layer, which I think is very strange. Because Magic is talking about backstabbing and like, the whispers and stuff. Like, that's how all this works. It's Game of Zones for a reason.
And we busy blaming LeBron all season long when the front office.
It was clear that there were issues in the front office as well. Jeez. But Pelinka was a former agent. You have to you got to make moves if you're an agent. So maybe everybody doesn't really roll with Pelinka like that. And you got to have relationships to make trades happen. So it's going to be very interesting what they do. I feel like Jeanie, come in, clean house. I know you love Luke Walton. We all love Bill Walton, okay, but Luke is not the guy, and I respect Luke. I don't think this is all Luke's fault. I think they were rolling. I think without the injuries, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now, but we are, and Luke is not the guy. And stop talking about Ty Lue is not qualified. I've had it with the whole conversation about former players are not qualified to be coaches. At some point or another, you play over a decade in the NBA. That has to account for, at some point, for being an assistant coach at some D3 school in Idaho. Like,
and that's a defense to Juwan Howard. Ty Lue has won a championship.
Right, as a head coach. Different. Like, it's completely null and void. Like, he won a championship as an NBA head coach. I don't want to hear about LeBron James being there. He did it. Whatever he needed to do to put those pieces around LeBron to make it happen, that's on his resume, and you can't take that away. And like we were talking about Luke being qualified earlier either. Like, yes, maybe Luke has had some advantages because of who he is and his family and where he is in life and whatever. Like, okay, everyone takes advantages of their situation. That shouldn't be something that what's he supposed to do? Like, no, you don't know me. Pretend you don't know who I am. Of course not. But he also played for 10 years. Yeah, like, at one point or another, how long you're in the NBA has to count for something. Like, I don't want to read a resume from some random coach who never played. He was an assistant coach in a D3 school in Boise for 3 years. Like, okay, so that should count for 1 year of NBA experience. Like, I'm sorry. Yes. Like, at one point or another, it's got to add up. True. So stop saying Ty Lue is not qualified. Stop saying Juwan Howard's not qualified. Even Jason Kidd, even though I don't think that's the move, he's qualified to be the head coach of the Lakers. Yeah. So they need a complete rebuild in every sense of the form. However, all that being said, I think you got to stick with LeBron.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, at this point in time, as shaky as everything is, the one basketball mind we can actually trust in that building is LeBron James, especially now that he has time off, something he hasn't had in a
My
decade.
God, time is a flat circle.
Well,
Can you believe you even just said that? Like, LeBron has worn it throughout this entire year. And now LeBron is the answer for the Lakers. I know the idea is that you could trade him, but I really don't know what you're getting for LeBron James at this point, to be honest with you, because LeBron is a big unknown.
Yeah.
And if you bail on LeBron, what does that say to all other free agents?
Yeah, well, I think the only people bailing on LeBron from the Lakers standpoint would make sense. I don't think it'll raise many eyebrows as another team cutting, because right now, this is complete upheaval.
Oh, no. This is a disaster.
The guy who got him here, who coached him, and he wants to just be around a Magic Johnson, someone who he sees. Like I said before, LeBron was Magic Johnson in the Lakers jersey, doing the things that Magic Johnson was doing off the court while still being on the court and trying to win a championship. He wanted to feed off of that energy, and Magic wasn't even around. Magic was around less than LeBron was around probably at the time of his injuries.
Like, I'm sure of it. It's
just a bad matching. It's a lot of big names, but that's what I'm saying. It would make sense to blow it up completely. And LeBron, you can build a franchise from scratch like the Clippers have with a piece like LeBron. But I think you build around LeBron, like you said, follow the blueprint. It's there. Now you actually have a clean slate where you can do anything you want to put LeBron in the best position to compete in the West. And Magic Johnson is high if he thinks they're Lakers are one piece away from going to the finals.
He's just saying that. Ugh. That's not, nobody believes that. The reality is this, and it's kind of like what I was saying on the podcast yesterday. Like you said, the blueprint is there. Stop trying to think you're going to go get Pat Riley. Mm-hmm. Stop trying to think that you are going to go get Bob Myers. Okay, there's another historic LA program who just tried this strategy. It did not work out well for them. Okay, so just stop it.
Jerry West's offices is nice.
The answer is right there. Okay, it's David Griffin. Okay, so just stop it. Okay, and Ty Lue. Build around LeBron James. You're still in the exact same situation you were before Magic decided to quit. Yeah. So you still have an availability to sign another max player. Right. And you still have your young core. Yeah. So to me, the answer is Jeanie. Jeanie just needs to step in, ignore all the haters that say you don't know basketball and you shouldn't make basketball decisions. Right. Guess what? Their last name isn't Buss. And their daddy isn't the good doctor, okay? Yeah. So you can just ignore them. They're going to hate on you and be critical of you anyway. So who cares? Yeah. You own the Lakers. You make the decisions. Magic is gone. Pelinka is apparently not getting along with Magic, which to me doesn't even make any sense. Luke was not the answer. Everyone's telling you that. Not that it's all Luke's fault, but Luke is not the answer. Clean house, bring in whatever LeBron needs to be successful, which we obviously already know because he's already done it 3 times. Yeah. He will sit down and tell you what he needs and what he wants, put it around him, and get it going. Stop trying to make, like, everything's got to be a star, and it's got to be Jason Kidd, and it's got to be Bob Myers, and, like, it's got to make a splash. LA is already a splash. The Lakers are already the Lakers. Yeah. You don't need to reinvent what already works. You know what LeBron needs. He needs shooters. He needs a little bit of youth. He needs a savvy veteran. And he needs a coach that he feels comfortable with. And a GM that comes to work. Yeah. No, this is actually set up now for the offseason to be even obviously more exciting, more pieces to fill. But all the Laker haters before should start getting a little quiet because there are actually moves that can be made, especially now when all these people, possibly Kevin Durant's of the world, could be leaving the West. The Lakers are in a position with Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, a bunch of veteran guys all on 1-year deals that are going to be gone. Or you could resign. Exactly. Bring some people in. The money is there. This is going to be extremely interesting. And now LeBron can actually recruit the way he used to when he was in a position where he had a team that people can actually come. Because now it's a blank slate. Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it just needs to be blank slate. You need to come out with some power and some force. Forget what people say about you. Forget trying to make everybody happy. Forget making all the feel-good stuff. Like, Jeanie knows what she's doing. She comes from a pedigree of basketball excellence. Get some people around you that you trust, not just as friends or as business people, but as straight up
Man.
basketball people. And they're out there.
Yes.
And it might not be the obvious person. It might not be the flashy person. It's just somebody you can kick a little check to.
Man.
Like, look, I need you to come in here. I need you to look at our roster.
Yes.
I need you to look at who's available to coach and who's available for GM
Yes.
and tell me what I need to do.
Kobe as a consultant.
And then I will bring Kobe in. Kobe
Mhm.
can consult. I will consider all of it, and then I will make a decision based off of what my gut says, and then I will deal with the consequences.
Yes.
Let's not forget, even though Magic did make quite a few, questionable decisions,
He got LeBron here.
The Paul George thing, the
Right.
D'Angelo Russell thing, Anthony
Anthony
Davis
Davis.
thing, the tampering thing,
Ugh.
the Zubac
Tampering
trade, so there was a couple things that went badly, but he did get LeBron James here, okay, which completely reinvented the Lakers franchise for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Well, we will see whether that's a negative or positive. We're still in limbo land.
Mhm.
So that's my advice to the Lakers. I think all in on Jeanie Buss. That's what I think needs to happen. I believe in her, and I really don't understand people that are critical of her, because no matter what, the Lakers are still the Lakers on the business side, and she's the one who needs to make all the decisions. Like, where's the leader? It's not Pelinka. I think that's pretty obvious. So clean house, leave no stone unturned except for LeBron James. Build around him, bring him in, ask him what he needs, what he thinks. Take his advice into consideration. Take Kobe's advice into consideration. Go get you, a Hubie Brown or someone, okay? Like, bring somebody in
out there.
who's for real,
Yeah.
who has no skin in the game. They're not trying to push you in any strategic direction.
Right.
They just want to give you actual advice, pay them for
Win
their
a
time,
championship.
and go get you a championship. It can all be solved. And at the end of the day, Matter's going to come in, and he's going to hug, and he's going to shine and smile, and be happy, and he's going to live his life to the fullest, live that good life he's been living,
Happy.
which is what he wanted.
Happy outside of
You will be
outside
happy,
of the
LeBron will
Lakers.
be happy, LA will be happy, and all the Lakers haters will be unhappy, which is what all Lakerland wants.
Yeah, the fourth year was an option for LeBron. Now I feel like after missing the playoffs, he'll have a chance to regroup. We've seen LeBron go on 3-year tears. You've seen him going on 3-year tears. I think he can make it happen on the end way out.
He's in a different space in his career. But let's not forget, everyone was calling gloom and doom on the Miami Heat the first year he was there, too. So I don't think it's the exact same situation, so don't freak out. But I never thought I'd say this. I think, it might end up, while this is all said and done, LeBron maybe should have stayed in Cleveland.
Ooh.
It's a possibility that it could end that way. When the story's written.
Yeah. No, Lakers are too big of a brand. He's becoming, the reason Kobe is so big is because of the Lakers, and as big as LeBron was in Cleveland, this move has elevated him. Hopefully his head will shrink a little bit in the offseason as well. His body will shrink, but his head as well. Mm-hmm. And like you said, hand the ball over to someone else so someone else can drive the car. But
yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, staying in Cleveland wasn't an option.
Bring in a free agent and that is going to be the future. Yeah. Acknowledge that the future is coming, whether we like it or not. Yes. And I'm sticking to LeBron.
Future's
Wade
now.
did that. He just retired. Wade did that for you. You need to do that for the next guy. And let's all get this. Let's get it in motion. Let's get it in motion. But that's my advice. That's my reaction. Thank you for joining us for this Critical Crazy conference. While it seems very kind of wild, this is wild news. So
Lakers, man.
Make sure that you check out Brandon's update. We live in the land of drama.
Yeah.
Le drama, if you will.
Yeah.
Make sure you check out Brandon's update. It'll be up Friday morning, so I'm sure we will get new information. The exit interviews are today, and there's a lot of other stuff going on in the sports world. So make sure you check that out. It'll be up on our YouTube page. Make sure you subscribe. Follow us on all our social media pages at Maybe I'm Crazy Pod, and you have yourself a good day.
Bye.
Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not.